properly chant, and then also take question and answer. And of course, he will also complete whatever I have missed, which I will miss everything, I know. So like that, we only have 30 to 35 minutes, and then some question answer will also be there. So I'll try to complete it as far as I can. So before I do that, I would like to pray to all the acharyas, to all the senior devotees sitting here humbly, so that I can speak on this elevated matter, which has been pondered upon by Satyavrat Maharaj, Sanatan Goswami, and such elevated souls. So, I mean, it is very difficult to speak anything on such esoteric and confidential pastimes of the Lord. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim taprapatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Namaste Halgraha, Namaste Musala Yuda, Namaste Revati Kanta, Namaste Bhakta Vassala, Namaste Dharindhara, Namaste Balam Shrestha, Palambare, Namaste Stu Imam Krishna Purvaja. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestha Bhutale Śrīmad Gopal Krishna Goswami Namine Prabhupada Se Sahitya Uterika Pracharam Prasarabhutta Vanchagal Turubhesha Kripa Sindhu Bhevcha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. So Maharaj, even before we go into Damodarastakam and the 8 verses told by the acharyas, sung by the acharyas, we will also try to develop some context of how this whole Leela unfolded. Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Yashoda Damodar Bhagwan ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Bhagwan ki jai, Lakshmi Nrsimha Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Panch Tattva ki jai, Vindya Devi ki jai, Shat Goswami Vrinda ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai. So even before we go into the verses, we will see how this whole pastime unfolded and how the whole pretext is set. Before singing, when acharyas are envisioning and singing the glories of the Lord by remembering this pastime, how does this pastime unfold? We will also quickly touch base on that. So in 10.9.2, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, actually this is the group of verses where this whole pastime is revealed by the acharyas. So there it is told that this whole incident happened on the day of Deepavali, right? It is also celebrated as Balimardan Puja and etc. But this is the main event that happened. So what happened there is lot of gopis and residents of Vrindavan were coming to Mother Yashoda daily on a daily basis and complaining that your son, your Lala, is actually stealing our freshly churned butter and yogurt and he's eating. Seems like you don't prepare good. So that kind of a complaint was coming to Mother Yashoda, and she was also started feeling that kind of an inferiority complex, that why is he stealing from others? Why is when we have so many cows and so many das and dasis and they are doing so much seva, this particular day, His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj has given a very elaborate, and you might have already heard it, very elaborate description from the Acharyas and Goswamis, how they explain this whole Leela. Prabhuji is here. Prabhu, please bless me so that I can speak properly. So Radha Govind Maharaj is telling that usually Mother Yashoda does not churn butter for Krishna. She doesn't do usually. But this particular day, because so many complaints were coming, she decided that now maybe the butter that she is churning is being churned in Nand Maharaj's whole campus and his mahal. Maybe that is not of good quality. So there are a group of cows, Maharaj is explaining, that are only belonging to Mother Yashoda. She is having her own private set of cows. They are called Malati. And the characteristic of these cows is that the milk itself is very flavored milk. Like we have flavored milk, the cow itself is giving flavored milk. So Mother Yashoda thought, out of love for Krishna, intense love for Krishna, that today let me use this flavored transcendental milk of the Malati cows, of my cows, and then I will churn the best quality butter with this transcendental mood of service to Krishna. She began churning. So in this verse, there is a very important thing that is being explained, right? So first of all, what she did when she started churning the milk, she started singing the pastimes and glories of Krishna. And this is a very important principle that Sanatana Goswami and Śrīla Prabhupāda is also in purport of this verse. Śrīla Prabhupāda is telling us, when we are attached to something, it is we will inadvertently sing their glories. When we are attached to something, when we like something, we will sing their glories for sure. And that is evident in the material world also. When people are attached to the cricketers, the movie stars, or politicians, they sing their glories. They go and tell people about it. That is singing glory. And the extent and the zenith of the love of Mother Yashoda for Krishna is such that what she has done, she is not using a rhetoric or scholarly verses or something. She is making them on the spot. So it is told in this verse, Dadhi nirmanthane kale smaranti tani agayata. So what she is doing while she is doing the manthan, on the spot, she is making those, singing the glories of Krishna by remembering how he killed Tanavrita, Putana and all. All these glories, she is remembering and singing on the spot. This is one of the main principles Śrīla Prabhupāda is highlighting, where if a devotee really wants to proceed in Krishna consciousness, they should basically sing the glories of Krishna more and more in the association of, how do we sing? By personal chanting, by Sankirtan, and by singing Acharya bhajans, like that. So now, when she was churning the butter, so what happened is, the milk, her own milk, which the mother feeds the child, they started thinking that if she is going to make such beautiful butter, then Krishna is going to neglect me. He is not going to drink mother's milk, and he is going to. This is how Maharaj is explaining, because everything is Chinmay in the original Dham. So therefore, all these personalities are actually also contemplating on how they can serve Krishna. So the milk of Mother Yashoda, or the milk that she kept on the pot, or the raju with the rope with which she is doing, all of them are Chinmay personalities, and they are all thinking how they can serve. So the milk is coming out of Mother Yashoda's breast, and why Maharaj is explaining, because the milk is thinking that let me go and make Mother Yashoda alert that we are here, we are not gone anywhere. If you are chanting this, then Krishna will forget us. So like someone who is very desperate, he goes to the door and tries to stop someone. So the milk is actually coming out on the door, and like that way Maharaj is explaining very beautifully. So now when she is doing that, the flowers of, like, because of her whole body is shaking, the flowers from the head of Mother Yashoda, the Malati flowers, they're falling down. Then Maharaj is again explaining, because the flowers, when they saw the love and the intensity of the intensity of the love of Mother Yashoda for Krishna, they thought that we are not eligible to be on the head of such a great devotee. Therefore, let us fall on the lotus feet of Mother Yashoda. So therefore, they are jumping off and falling at the mother, lotus feet of the mother. And the third part is, the last part, is when she is doing so, Krishna usually gets up little late. But on that particular day, Shri Maharaj is explaining that Krishna decided to get up little early. So this time when this whole Manthan Leela is going on, this is early morning. Right? Mother Yashoda thought this, while Krishna is sleeping, let me do some thing. And then Krishna got up little early. And as soon as he got up, he developed a desire to drink milk of Mother Yashoda, right? While having that desire, that transcendental desire, Krishna came where Mother Yashoda was churning the butter. And with his little fingers, Krishna held the rod with which she was churning the butter, as if he wanted to stop her. Don't churn, I am hungry, please feed me. So this is a transcendental pastime. And then Goswami Acharyas are explaining that Krishna's hands were so small, there is no way that he could have stopped such a big churning rod. But he's portraying that desire. And as soon as Mother Yashoda saw Krishna coming there and standing, she did not speak anything. She became mantra mugdha, and she just kept on. She stopped the churning because that was the desire of the Lord, and she kept on just looking at the Lord. Beautiful face is explained. The characteristics of the face of the Lord. So therefore it is said in 10:9:4, Nyasedhat Pritim Avahan. So what he is doing, he is trying to stop Nishedh, he is trying to stop the churning of the butter. And what he is doing, he is generating the Preeti Lakshanam. He is generating the mellow of love for mother within the mother, so that the mother will be able to feed him. He is trying to attract, and that is how. So here in examples it is shown, like when Vaman Dev came, right, when he appeared on this earth, Goswamis are explaining, these are like metaphors and comparison that they do to explain the majestic qualities of the Lord. So what they are explaining is, when Vaman Dev came, her mother used to bathe him with only one lota of jal. Whole Vaman Dev used to be bathed with one lota, but same Vaman Dev's one sweat pore contains all the oceans of the world. So this is like a opposite comparison. Same Vaman Dev whose one sweat pore is having the water of all the oceans, same Vaman Dev can be bathed with one lota of that is the power of love. That is how how the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes subservient to the love. That is how it is showing. And similarly here, the Lord who controls the whole universe is not able to control one churning rod. And why it is controlled? Because of the love of Mother Yashoda, she stops like that. So this is whole pretext. And then Lord comes and starts, climbing the lap of the mother, and she's so mesmerized that she's not able to speak anything. She's just looking at what he's doing. And then he starts sucking the breast of mother, and she starts, singing the glories of the Lord. And after some time, the milk that she put on the stove for preparing for Krishna, then that milk thought. Now this is again third analogy given. The milk thought that now, because this butter is being churned, and this is the highest quality butter of the whole universe, there is no way that my usability is remaining in this house. So therefore, let me jump out and do suicide. At least I will do suicide in the house of Mother Yashoda. Like that, the milk on the pot is thinking. Maharaj is explaining, and therefore he started coming out. And as soon as Mother Yashoda smelled that yes, the milk on the pot is is going to spill over, she immediately what she did is she kept Krishna aside, and then she went to put the milk aside so that it doesn't spill over. Now Krishna at this point displayed a very important transcendental mood, which is he was frustrated and angry. Maharaj is telling he was frustrated and angry at the same time. Why? Because one, he was feeling hungry, and that desire was neglected by Mother Yashoda. One, and second, because for a milk, for a substance like milk, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was neglected. So like that, he's thinking and he's becoming both angry and frustrated. And in that transcendental mood, in that mellow, what he's doing, he's picking one small stone. I don't know what it's said in English. It's lodha. Like you do chutney and all, there is a stone, and then so the upper part of it, Maharaj is explaining, he picked and he threw it in such a way that the pot broke at from a point, but it did not produce any sound. So he was so daksh in breaking the pot in such a way that Maharaj is explaining that when Mother Yashoda came back, she thought this way. She was not angry at all. She thought, my child is so daksha, he is so expert that he broke the pot in such a manner that it did not make any sound. So this is the quality of a mother. So she is trying to look positive in the negative situation. So like how great my son is, like that. So and because she is the greatest devotee of the Lord, she is even more that mellow is not material like we do, but it is transcendental, like that. This is Maharaj, what Maharaj explained. Okay, and then Krishna, after he broke, at one side he was so daksh that he could break the pot without making the sound. But at the same point, then Mother Yashoda is thinking, but at the same time, he's also foolish because he ran over the spilled yogurt only. He did not find another way, another shortcut or bypass. He ran over it, and wherever he ran, the footprints were visible. So therefore, he's also foolish because now I will be able to catch it. So Krishna is producing the two sides of the lila, where he's presenting himself as the greatest intelligent person and also as a foolish child of Mother Yashoda, like that. So, so text one, Maharaj, the other day he touched base on this. So text one is actually the Mula mantra, where the Mangala Artham or the Mangala Charan is being done. So the invocation, when we say Namami Shwaram, we are invoking the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we will be able to speak, understand, and realize the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So this first sloka is kind of an invocation, like that. So Maharaj explained the different meaning of Ishvara, which I've also presented, all powerful, soul controller, and the most important meaning of Ishvara is my own master, my own master. So this is also a symptom of surrender before we discuss my own master. And then he explained the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where he is Sachidanand, Vigraha, he's sorry. Reshare this thing. First sloka. Yes. So then Maharaj explained the three meanings of the lasat, right? So how the earrings of Krishna, they are not crocodile as we usually say. He explained that this is a makar, which is another species, transcendental species, and he explained the different meanings of lasat, how it is. So Saubhagya, one of the meaning is that it is so fortunate that it is being held on the ear of Krishna, and it is becoming splendorous because of the effulgence coming out of the body. The earring is actually becoming more beautiful. So it is not an ornament on Krishna. Krishna is an ornament for the earring. That's how Maharaj was explaining. So Krishna is a supreme beautiful. He is a supreme transcendental, and everything in association with Krishna becomes complete and perfect. And anything which may be materially very advanced, very beautiful, very opulent, very famous, very knowledgeable, very renunciant, very beautiful, all the six opulence might be there, but if Krishna's presence is not there, then it is worthless, like that. And senior devotee explained that if in case you have a lot of zeros but you don't have one in front of it, then it those zeros don't have any value, like that. Like, so this is how the explanation is given. And then Yashoda Bhiyolukha Ladhava Manam. So what Krishna did when he broke the pot, he went to the another room where Okhal was kept. He inverted the Okhal and he climbed on top of it. And then he started breaking the pots and feeding. So because he was angry, see, if in case he would have been only hungry, then he would have, taken the butter and eaten himself. But because he was also angry of neglect, because Supreme Personality of Godhead was neglected because of a milk, he also decided to spill it and spoil it. So therefore, he was also feeding the monkeys. So therefore, two transcendental mood of Krishna are being displayed here. So he spilled it over, he destroyed everything, and he was distributing everything to the monkeys as well. And Paramrishtam Atyant Ato Drutya Gopya. Over here, Gopya is Mother Yashoda, who is the chief gopi, of course. And what she's doing, she's running after Krishna. And then Śrīla Prabhupāda is explaining in Bhagavatam in the purport that great yogis, I will also keep check of time. So great yogis, they actually keep meditating on the transcendental form of Krishna within themselves in the form of universal manifestation, in the form of Paramatma, in the form of Brahma, Brahma Jyoti, etc. But they are not able to even reach the tip of the toenail of Krishna. That's how the Acharyas are explaining. But Mother Yashoda forcefully. So what yogis do, they pray for the mercy of Krishna, right? They pray for the mercy that I am your servant, or I am your part and parcel, I am your Ansha. Please manifest yourself within my heart. I want to have your darshan, like that they do. They pray for mercy. But Mother Yashoda is not praying for mercy here. She is doing it balad. She is doing forcefully. So this is a zenith of difference between yogis and bhaktas. That is the difference. That is the gulf of difference that acharyas are presenting. It is not a small difference. We should not confuse it with a small difference between yoga or jnana yoga, karma yoga, and bhakti yoga. No, they are very similar. No, the acharyas are prominently producing the difference. That there is a gulf of difference. Like there is a difference between a potato and gold. Nobody will confuse between a potato and gold. Hey, मैं confuse हो गया, मैं gold ले आया आज. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होगा. There is a gulf of difference. No, even a drunk donkey will not be get confused between, like that. One Prabhuji is telling. So acharyas are producing that gulf of difference. How they are saying that a devotee, a pure devotee of Krishna, he can control Krishna forcefully, even if Krishna doesn't want to be controlled, or he is not in the mood that to get subservient to the devotee. They can by force. He has to. There is no option for Krishna. He has to, like that. Senior devotees are telling. And however, the other part, other yogis and everyone, they are just praying, they are meditating. Someday Krishna will manifest, like that they are doing. So this is one of the important difference. So Tato Drutya Gopya, she ran behind Krishna and she forcefully captured him. That is the magnanimity of the love of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj for Krishna. He's also showing one more important thing, is that Krishna cannot be controlled in the Aishwarya Bhav. And Maharaj was very nicely explaining that he was also showing to the devotees in opulence or in Aishwarya Bhav, like Devaki and Mother Devaki and Vasudev, that I cannot be controlled by you in the same manner as Mother Yashoda is controlling, because she is in the pure mellow of love. Then going ahead, the next verse is Rudantam Muhurnetram Yugmam Rajantam Karam Bhoja Yugmena Satanka Netram Muhu Swastikam Patri Rekanka Kantha Tita Graiva Damodaram Bhakti Batham. So in this, now the Leela is advancing. Now Krishna is portraying and he's manifesting more deeper transcendental loving mellows for the enjoyment, for the pleasure of Mother Yashoda. And they may look like very similar to any child doing in the material world. But then when Krishna is doing it, and Acharya is explaining, and Śrīla Prabhupāda is explaining, that when Krishna is doing it, these pastimes are becoming unlimitedly more, relishable for Mother Yashoda. So what they are doing, Rudanta Muhur Netram Yugmam Mrijantam. So what he's doing, he's showing. Now what happened is, when Mother Yashoda was chasing, when she was tracing Krishna by the footprints that he made, and he went into another room, and there he was doing this whole mischief of breaking the pots and distributing it to the monkeys. Mother Yashoda picked one stick. Usually she does not pick any stick. In fact, in any of the Leela, we haven't seen Mother Yashoda ever picking stick for Krishna. In fact, she always defends Krishna. Whenever somebody comes with a complaint, Mother Yashoda always defends. No, this is not like that. Maybe you are wrong. Or and there is a specific verse where His Holiness Adhanath Maharaj is explaining that there are once upon a time when one gopi, she came and complained that Krishna is daily coming with his friends and monkeys and destroying especially chant butter that she is keeping. She is giving 5 arguments of, and Mother Yashoda is breaking all those 5 arguments why Krishna will not steal from you. And even if he is stealing, she is supporting Krishna. She is saying, if he is stealing, so why don't you keep the butter at a height? So then the Gopi is telling, we keep on the height, but he is so expert in inventing new ways, he even finds it out and breaks it. And so that says, even if that is the case, if you know that he will steal, why don't you just give him? Don't you keep and give him? Then the Gopi is telling, no, we are okay Krishna eating it. But then what he does after that, we are not okay with it. He eats himself and he distributes and destroys everything. That we are not okay with. And then like that, she is giving 4 or 5 arguments, and Mother Yashoda is like destroying everything because of her pure love for Krishna. So over here, Krishna is now advancing the Leela, and what he's doing, he's exactly portraying as a innocent child. So what a child does when he sees a stick in the hand of a mother, what Krishna is trying to do, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj also touched, in one lecture he touched base. He was acting as if he is very afraid. Krishna is acting as if he is very afraid, so that he is not beaten with his stick like that. So this is whole. So this is whole shloka is actually acting by Krishna. Rudantam muhur netram yugmam varjantam. And what he is doing, he's kind of using his hands to rub his eyes. And what is happening because of that, the kajal of Krishna's eyes actually spreading over his transcendental cheeks. And then our Goswamis are explaining how the new color is being invented there. A new invention is happening. When the black kajal is being spread on the Meghavarna, Shamvarna of Krishna's cheeks, which are splendorous and self-effulgent, then a new invention is happening. And all the acharyas, when they are seeing and hearing about this new invention, they're getting more and more, aesthetic. They're becoming more aesthetic. What is happening here? Right? So like that. Karamboja yugmena satanka netram muhu swasa kampatri reka kantha. So beautiful over here, the Roop Madhurya, or the transcendental qualities of the roop of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is being explained. And they're telling that the neck of the Lord is like a conch with 3 lines. Three Rekha Kantha. Three lines he's having on his Kantha. And when he's fearful, he's acting as if he's fearful of this stick, his 3 lines are trembling. Sometimes we see in small children when they're very fearful and they cry, they start also trembling and shaking. Like that it is happening. And while that is happening, what is Kanthasrita Graiva Damodaram Bhakti Badham. And then while that is happening, while all this is happening, Mother Yashoda is not caring for everything. What is happening? She has captured Krishna through his bhakti. She has captured Krishna through his bhakti. And then what happens is, we have heard this, she tries to capture and tie Krishna. What was the reason she wanted to tie? Because he has done enough mischief for today. Mother Yashoda thought, let me tie him to a okhal, and at least he will be there for some time and he will learn the lesson. So that was the intent, that he will there be for some time. He will not do any further mischief while I go and I correct what he has done so far. So like that, the intent was there. So at least he will stay at some point, for some time at some place. So now what happened when she is tying, she is using a lot of ropes, and every time she is using a rope, she is trying to bind Krishna. So Krishna is not, she is not able to bind the knot because it is always 2 fingers short. And we have heard from Acharyas what is the significance of those 2 fingers. Who will tell what is the significance of those 2 fingers? Mercy of the Lord, right? Correct. Thank you. So 2 fingers signified is the endeavor from the devotee and the mercy of the Lord. So every devotee should, and therefore Śrīla Prabhupāda is writing, and then Sanatana Goswami in Digdarshini Maharaj told that we should read Digdarshini because it is the natural commentary of Damodarastakam from Hari Bhakti Vilas, again by Sanatana Goswami. In there, Sanatana Goswami is explaining that these two, so a devotee should always be, eager to work for the pleasure of Krishna. Whatever is the capacity of the devotee, they should always be eager to work for the pleasure of Krishna. And then Krishna being pleased with the effort, not with the outcome. So that is the point. Krishna is pleased with the sincerity of the effort and not the outcome. So for example, if somebody is preaching somewhere and they are putting very sincere and serious effort in preaching, but somehow people are not turning up, it is not a failure at all for Krishna. And this is the main import from this verse, where Krishna looks at the effort, the sincere and serious effort, the intent and not the content. Like that, we should remember. So therefore, while we are doing our ABCD, association, book reading, chanting, prasadam, of course, we never miss, like that. So we should always do with a sincere effort of our consciousness. Now, one of the senior devotees is telling where the effort should come from. Is the effort in the limbs or in the senses? Where is the real effort happening? So he is telling the real effort of pleasing Krishna is happening at the level of consciousness. So we should be very careful of when we are doing an activity with what Chetana we are doing it. Right? So that's how, I mean, Maharaj gives a very long description to this, but this is how we should remember on a high level. The summary is that when we are taking prasadam or we are associating with devotees, our consciousness should be in the right frame of mind, right? And that comes with proper training, as Prabhuji is all training us all, and with a proper association, a long association with devotees, we definitely come to that stage where we learn this art. Moving ahead, iti drakshwali, we can all sing. Iti drakshwali labhirananda kunde स्वघोषं निमञ्जन्तमाख्यापयन्तं तदीशितज्ञेषु भक्तजितत्वं पुनः प्रेम तत्सं सता वृत्तिवन्दे. So, iti daksha leela bhir anand kunde. By this pastimes, Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is actually submerging the whole Braja in his beautiful and sweet pastimes continuously. So sometimes people, one devotee long back, he asked that if Krishna is doing all this activity and doesn't people become bored of his activities? Like daily he's doing similar kind of activities, similar kind. He's killing someone, he's stealing butter. Kind of aren't these becoming monotonous? No. So here it is Swaghosham Nimanjantam Akhyapayantam. Swaghosham. So Krishna is actually Ghosh. Ghosh is like a broadcast. It's like a broadcast. Krishna is broadcasting through his Leela in Gokul especially and in Braja in general, that his Leela, his pastimes are an ever source, a renewed source of pleasure for whom? For bhaktas. So the bhakta, tadiyeshi tagyeshu bhakta jitetvam. He's telling that he's broadcasting by his Leela that his activities, his devotees never fail to relish. There is no end to the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Why? Because of Yog Maya. And then Śrīla Prabhupāda is writing in the purport, because Yog Maya is playing the role. Whenever Krishna does a Leela or a pastime, she covers the opulence or any logical or inferencing part of the devotees, and then they just enjoy the Leela of Krishna as if he is their friend, their son, their and different other roles that he's playing, like that. So in Golok Vrindavan also Krishna. So sometimes when I first heard that Anant Shesh is trying to sing the glories of Krishna from time immemorial with his unlimited hoods, but the glories are not finishing. I had a doubt. How is that possible? We don't read so many leelas. How are these leelas coming from? So actually, Krishna is doing those leelas in an unlimited format in Golok Vrindavan and with his devotees all around the universe. And because these pastimes are being conducted in the supervision of Yog Maya, which is the pure devotee of Krishna, these look ever and ever relishing. So if somebody sings the pastime of Krishna twice or thrice, it doesn't mean that he's singing he's repeating the same thing. No. Every time we sing the glory of Krishna, for example, every year we sing Damodarastakam, we are actually singing a new Leela of Krishna. It is a new Leela of Krishna. It is not a repeated Leela. It is not a Basi Leela. It is a new transcendental Leela of Krishna. So that's how he's proclaiming this. Moving ahead. So Varam Deva Moksham na Moksha Vadim. Now, after, so this is like an anatomy of how the prayers to Krishna should be offered. So first we do Mangala Charan, that is we glorify Krishna for his greatness. Second, we glorify for his Leela and all the activities and all this contribution that he has done. And then we ask for the benediction towards the last. So glorify Krishna, tell your wretched condition, and then you ask for whatever we have come for asking. So now the third part has come, where he will be asking what is supposed to be asked after all this glorification. So when we go to some Mahan Vyakti, right, he will definitely say, okay, you have glorified enough, ask whatever you want. Right, so that is the point. Varam deva moksham na moksha vadim va na chanyam vraneham vareshadapiya. So acharyas are telling that we don't desire for anything, even moksha. So there are superlative degrees of what we are asking here, and Shripad Sanatan Goswami is telling. So moksha vadhim, anyancha. So either moksha, anything greater than moksha, or anything apart from it. So Krishna may say, okay, moksha and the superlative of moksha you don't want. You don't want salokya, sarupya, samipya, and shasti. All these you don't want. Okay, then what you want? Anyam cha, nor any other blessing. Please don't give me any other blessing. Why? Sometimes it may happen that Krishna may also cheat us, as he did with Narad Muni. You heard that pastime, right? Narad Muni said, I want a face like Hari. And Krishna gave him Hari face. So therefore, the best way of asking anything from Krishna is that I don't want anything. I don't want anything. Whatever is you feel is best for me, you give. So that is like you're turning the tables. You're turning the tables. So like Hiranyakashipu did not, he exactly committed this mistake. He did not turn the tables. He kept on asking and using his intellect, making permutations and combinations, and at the end he was cheated. But over here, our acharyas are telling that the best way to tell what he's saying, kim anyay, what is the use of all these benedictions? So what exactly I want is sada me manasya viristam kimanya gopal balam. Your gopal bal roop should always be manifested in my heart and in my mind. That is the best thing that I want. I don't want anything else apart from this. And if you are even thinking of giving me anything else, anyancha, he's saying, please, nothing. Don't even think of anything else. Only your transcendental form of Sri Damodar should be manifest. This is how acharyas are praying, and we should follow their footsteps. In this, Śrīla Prabhupāda is also writing one more important thing. Is sometimes when we hear these pastimes, we try to imitate. Prabhu, it is 8:21. 8:30 we can go. 8:30. Your part is more important. So, so the acharyas are telling sometimes when we hear these pastimes, we think like we want to do anukaran or do similarly like the residents of Vraja. And we also see sometimes people take Laddu Gopal or they keep deities in their home or and they imitate as if this is my child. That is in some sense okay. But the acharyas are telling a better way to manifest it. The better way is that we have to follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vraja, like the pure devotees of Krishna, like Mother Yashoda in this instance. And by following them, we have to follow, we will reach, eventually we will generate that bhava for Krishna as they are. Rather than doing anukaran, we should do what? Anusharan. So we should follow rather than imitating. It's a very important thing. I've seen many devotees also, they try to, bypass the rules and regulations. And when they are told that you should not keep deities for now, it is very early for you to keep deities and serve them properly, sometimes devotees become offended. But that is the actual acharya, the bona fide way that acharyas are telling us. That first of all, we should follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vraja like Gopas, Gopalas, Mother Yashoda and other gopis and the servants of Krishna and friends of Krishna. And then by singing their glories as we are doing here, by singing their glories, by understanding their mood, their bhava, and trying to generate that same consciousness in our own seva, gradually our consciousness will be elevated to the same level or subservient to that. And so therefore Rupa Goswami is telling Gopi Bhat Kamlepa, Das Das Anudas. So like that, moving ahead. There is much to be spoken and Prabhuji can speak. Idam te mukhambo, we can all. Idam te mukhambojam avyakta nile Vritam kuntalai snigdha raktaischa gopya Mohoshumbitam bimba raktam dharame Manasya virasta malam lakshalabhai. So now the Roop Madhurya or the Rupa Vishesh, as Sanatana Goswami is explaining, is being described here. So because Mother Yashoda and other gopis, they keep on constantly kissing the lotus feet, lotus face of Krishna. The face of Krishna has become what? Bimb Rakta. It's like bimba fruit. It has become transcendental reddish. We should not call it reddish, transcendentally reddish like that. And it is increasing the overall the overall effulgence of the pastime. So what happens is sometimes when we try to create a venue for an event, we try to put a lot of focus lights and halogen lights and etc. Over here, in order to make this whole pastime even more effulgent, so that it reaches the heart. This is how the acharyas are telling. So that it reaches the stone-like heart of the materialists. He is now displaying his Rupa Madhurya or the Rupa Vishesh, so that the pure devotees can meditate upon it, and the non-devotees can become effulgent out of it. Right. So he's radiating that glory of his through this pastime. So what it is done. Muhu chombitam bimba raktam dharame manasya virastam alam lakshalabhay. So the acharyas are praying. Sanatana Goswami is praying over here that this particular beautiful face of yours should always be appear in my mind again and again. Antar darshana, as they have told. We can move ahead. Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jala Bhimagnam Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Batano Gruhanisha Mama Gamadi Akshi Drishya. So now, three parts are over. He asked for it, and now he's expressing the third part. He's expressing his fallen condition. Why Krishna should be merciful to us? Why he should? So he expressing their danyata. As Acharyas is telling, we are expressing our danyata. Our condition is very precarious. What is happening to us? Dukha jalabdi magnam. We are being submerged in the miseries of this material world. So sometimes people, when they hear it, they may say, okay, maybe they are talking about the misery of not getting married. That is also married. I'm not finding a suitable match. But this is not the misery in which the acharyas are telling they are getting submerged. That is not the misery. Or somebody is not getting the good job, or the job is not doing good, manager is not good. That is also misery in this world. So like that, this is not the misery talked about. They are talking about the misery of not being able to remember the transcendental leelas of Krishna all the time. But then, when we follow in the footsteps of Acharya, we apply this on ourselves, we see that we have been rotting in this material world from time immemorial, and we are not able to relish. We are hearing so many times, but we are not able to relish such beautiful pastimes of Krishna. This is dukkha for a devotee, the real dukkha for the devotee, right? So like that. Other things will happen. Eventually, you will get married, and after that, you will also cry. That will happen. Eventually you will get a job and then you will cry because of your manager. So that dukkha is permanent. Three tap will be there in this material world. So what he's saying, kripa drishti vishyati dinam batanu grahanesha mamagyam adi akshi drishya. So now I am putting myself, I am doing, actually this is portraying Atma Nivedan. What we are doing, I am surrendering everything to you, O Krishna, all my intellect, all my logic, all my capabilities, I'm surrendering unto you. And now you, please take care and have mercy on me. All your devotees are relishing your beautiful pastimes, but I am not able to, relish anything. All of this is looking material to me. So therefore, please be pleased with me and bestow your mercy upon me. Kuberatma Jaupata Mutaibayavad Tvaya mochitau bhakti bhajo kritau cha तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकाम्य प्रयक्षा न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिता दामोदरेहा. So then he's telling, okay, he's giving an instance of how he showed mercy. That is a typical characteristic we have seen in all the prayers of Acharyas. They pray, they beg for mercy, and then they also give instance of how you have been merciful to whom? Kubera Atma Jau, the sons of Kubera, Manigriva and Nalguvara. He is giving instance. Kubera Atma Jau, you have been so merciful. Why you have been merciful? Because you are pure devotee. And Sri Sanatana Goswami is writing in the Darshini, he is writing, Krishna was obliged to show mercy on the Kuber Atma Jau because the pure devotee of Krishna, Narada, gave them the benediction. If Narada would not have been in this whole equation, Krishna would have not bothered to do this whole, mercy showing. Because pure devotee were praying for, they prayed and benedicted the Kuber Atma Jau. Therefore, Krishna took that pain, that labor of dragging the okhal between the trees and then making the tree fall, right? Toya mochitau bhakti bhajau kritau cha. So therefore, he's telling that Krishna is only moved by the pure devotion of his pure devotees. And therefore, it is very important, as an import of this verse, it is very important that we take shelter of a pure devotee of Krishna. It is very important. And therefore, any tinge of what we call as the Guru Parampara, we don't need any Guru Parampara system and all these bogus criteria, philosophy going on. It has been uprooted from root in this verse. Because unless and until we take shelter of a pure devotee of Krishna and that devotee prays for us, we will never get the mercy of Krishna. And therefore, always remaining under the shelter of senior devotees, pure devotees, associated always with Guru Parampara, even if it is painful, sometimes it is very, very important. Very important. And Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj gives an example of this mango, ripened mango. If the mango has to get ripened and sweet, then it will have to be connected to the tree. If in the raw stage the mango falls down on the and things like, now I have become a mango, I am independent, I'll disassociate myself with the tree, it will get rotten. Nobody will care about it. But if it stays connected gradually and gradually, because the rasa from the tree will flow to the mango, same way the instructions from the parampara will flow to us, we will become ripened. It takes time. Sometimes it may be little painful. So Mohan Prabhu was giving an example. Sometimes you have seen that dargozi, the embroidery on the sari that is being done. So when the embroidery is done, the sari is kept upside down. And if you see what he is doing, you will never understand. It will be like haphazard, here and there, here and there. But when the whole embroidery is complete and he does the sari upside down, then a beautiful flower comes up. In the same way, when Krishna is acting in our lives, he is doing that embroidery. And we have to be there. If the sari runs away, no, what you are doing here. So it will never happen. That beauty will never come out. So therefore, as an import here, we have to be completely under the shelter of the mercy of the pure devotees. Only then, eventually we will be able to understand the consciousness and mood of the pure devotees of Vraja, and then eventually the greatness of Krishna, the sweet pastimes of Krishna, and then finally our consciousness will be free of all the anarthas and unwanted things that we want, and then we will be established in our pure consciousness. And in fact, in Bhagavatam it is told, only in pure consciousness can someone serve Krishna. Now this is very disheartening. Unless our consciousness is pure, we cannot serve Krishna. Why? Because he is Sachidanand Vigraha. That is told, right? In the first sloka. How can we serve him with the contaminated sloka? So Śrīla Prabhupāda is telling we cannot. We cannot serve Krishna with our contaminated senses and consciousness. How can we serve? Indirectly, people who have pure consciousness. So therefore, taking shelter of pure devotee is very, very important. This is a pipeline. Because we cannot, this is how the setting is there. We cannot serve. A perfectly impure thing cannot serve a perfectly pure thing. It is just impossible. And then Namaste Studamne Suruditi Damne Tvadiyodaraya Vishwasya Damne Damoradikaye Tvadiya Priyaye Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam. So now Maharaj was telling the other day, this whole pastime is happening in Gokul, in the house of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. Where does Radharani come into this whole scenario, right? So therefore, Maharaj was telling, because Radharani is the purest and the most confidential associate of Krishna, whenever we have to, make our prayers complete, we have to make our prayers complete, we have to include Radharani there. Otherwise, the prayer is not complete. Without Radharani, Krishna, any prayer to Krishna is not complete. So therefore, we are invoking. So our acharyas are actually glorifying Dhamne, which is the Rassi. Namaste stu Dhamne Spuru Deepti Dhamne. Why? Because that rope has also become effulgent because it has been tied on the body of Krishna eventually by Mother Yashoda. Todiyodaraya Vishwasya Dhamne. And therefore, now in the same way, O Krishna, please bind me in the loving mellows and pastimes of your leelas and pastimes, so that I can constantly remember them eventually at some point in time. Right? So like that. One last thing. So His Holiness, there are many more, but in the interest of time, His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj was telling this incident, that after hearing all these great descriptions by great devotees, sometimes we may become disheartened. So he was telling a very beautiful story. One day what happened, there was a cobbler and a brahmana. A cobbler and a brahmana. So Narad Muni was passing. This is a different one, not this elephant in the sea. So don't think I have heard. So sometimes we think I have heard, we shut our mind. No. This is not. So Maharaj is telling another story. Now there is a cobbler, there is a brahmana, and Narad Muni is passing there. Cobbler asks, "Where are you going?" Narad Muni, as always, tells, "I am going to Vaikuntha to have darshan of Lord Narayana." Cobbler asks, "Please ask him when I am going to return back to Godhead." And same thing Brahmana also asks. And then when he comes back, they both of them ask, "Did you ask?" So Brahmana, Narad Muni told Brahmana that you will take as many years as are there the leaves on this banyan tree, like that. So Brahmana told, so many years, so many lifetimes. I am doing so much tapasya, so much, bhoga, so much arti and everything. Seems like he is not favorable to his devotees. I leave everything. Then he told the same thing to cobbler. You will take same number of lifetimes as the number of leaves on this banyan tree. The cobbler started jumping. Why? Because I have been suffering in this material world for such long, and if I have to just wait for the number of lifetimes at the number of leaves on this tree, it is nothing. My Lord is so merciful that He's calling me so soon. And similar instance we have also seen in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, right? So therefore, devotees should be very hopeful. After hearing all these pastimes, we should be very hopeful that we are in the shelter of the pure devotees and they will take care of us. In fact, it is told, Śrīla Prabhupāda is writing in one of the purports, I exactly don't remember the purport, these verse, writing, unless and until the spiritual master takes back all his disciples to do back to Godhead, he doesn't take rest. I mean, his work is not done. Like that. I'm paraphrasing. Like that. So we have to be very hopeful that we are in the right hand, we are in the right association, we are in the right society, we are in the right set of right mindset, so that eventually we will attain success. And that is how this whole pastime is telling us. Eventually we will attain success. It will take time. Depends upon how sincere and serious we are doing the effort. But Krishna is eager to make us successful. Sometimes like that they tell in the reviews, companies they tell in the reviews, I am eager to make you successful, but they're not. They're giving you feedbacks and the manager is telling you, hey Ashish, I'm eager to make you successful, please do this and this, but he's not. But Krishna is actually, in reality, he's eager to take us back to Godhead. We take one step, Krishna takes 1,000 steps. I have taken 8 extra steps. So I stop here. There is lot that can be discussed by senior devotees. Vrindavan Prabhu is sitting, Prabhuji is sitting. from Ras point of view, from instructions point of view, I will stop here. This is, I have already gone far beyond my realization and capacity. So please forgive me if I've spoken something that doesn't coincide with my activities and my culture. And Hare Krishna. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Vanchakaltarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. Prabhuji will come and he will talk about japa. Prabhuji, please.
हरे कृष्णा। ज्ञान से ज्ञानम जनाचार्य तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमस्काराय कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदेष्टारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। हरे कृष्ण। अवधूत निमाई प्रभु जी ने बहुत अच्छे से बोला, बहुत सुंदर एकदम आचार्य टिप्पणी करके सब अच्छे से समझाया। एंड आई थिंक प्रभु जी को और थोड़ा समय मिलना चाहिए था। तो जब मैंने प्रभु जी को क्लास के लिए बोला तो प्रभु जी बोले थे कि मैं, तो प्रभु जी ने खुद बोला कि साथ में आप कुछ ऐड करेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा करके। सो प्रभु जी की नम्रता है कि इतना वो है। और प्रभु जी बहुत सीनियर हैं, 2005 से भक्ति कर रहे हैं और रोजाना माता जी के साथ में रोजाना मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम को आते हैं। उनका छोटा बच्चा भी आता है, वो ऑल्टर में चढ़ता है, वो पिता होना चाहता है। आप प्रभु जी का सेवा का बहुत तत्पर भाव है। तो एंड दो ही इज इन वेरी बिग पोजीशन इन द कंपनी, बट एकदम एकदम नम्र बनकर वो रहते हैं। तो ऐसे भक्तों से सुनने से हमें बहुत फायदा मिलता है। तो मैंने सोचा कि थोड़ा कार्तिक का महीना है तो भक्तों को क्या करना चाहिए प्रैक्टिकल जीवन में, तो थोड़ा उसके बारे में हम चर्चा करेंगे। दामोदर अष्टकम गाते समय क्या हमारा मेडिटेशन होना चाहिए, और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट हम एक माला जप भी करेंगे, 1 राउंड चैंटिंग, हाउ टू इम्प्रूव अवर जपा। क्योंकि ये सब रियलाइजेशंस हमको तभी आएगा क्योंकि सब कुछ नाम में है। नाम, रूप, गुण, लीला। अगर हम नाम जब अच्छे से करेंगे, बिना अपराध के करेंगे, इसी नाम से हमें भगवान का रूप हमारे हृदय में मैनिफेस्ट हो जाएगा। तो वही वो यहाँ पे प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, मुझे सिर्फ वो बाल स्वरूप हो जाए। तो ये भक्ति क्या है, क्या दामोदर अष्टकम का सही मीनिंग है, ये कार्तिक महीना क्यों स्पेशल हो, तो महाराज ने बताया क्योंकि इस पर राधा रानी की कृपा है। तो इस कार्तिक महीने में हम जो भी भक्ति करते हैं वो कई गुना बढ़ जाती है, क्योंकि राधा रानी की कृपा होने के कारण इस जो भी हम भक्ति करते हैं कई गुना हमें इसको मिलता है। तो इससे भक्तों को कार्तिक महीने को छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए। ठीक है, वो तो भक्त लोग को थोड़ा इंस्पायर करने के लिए बोल, ऐसा नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि इंस्पायर करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं कि कुछ जैसे वो कर लो। ये स्क्रिप्चर्स बोलते हैं इंस्पायर करने के लिए, लेकिन ये कार्तिक का महीना बहुत स्पेशल है। इसमें अगर हम ज्यादा भक्ति करते हैं तो ज्यादा मर्सी भी मिलती है। और श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन में कई इसमें बात बताया है कि कैसे कार्तिक के महीने में जो है ये दीपदान रोजाना करना चाहिए करें। तो हर एक कोई, तो हमारे पास किट्स हैं, दामोदर किट्स हैं, यशोदा दामोदर फोटो है। तो हर भक्त को चाहिए कि रोजाना अपने घर में दामोदर अष्टकम गाएं और रोजाना जो है ये दीप अर्पण करें, और खुद भी ना करें, पड़ोसियों को भी बुला के करें, उनको भी फायदा मिले। तो ये बहुत जरूरी चीज है। प्लस इस कार्तिक महीने में कुछ ना कुछ हमको भाव लेना चाहिए, कुछ तो एक्स्ट्रा भक्ति करनी चाहिए। जैसे अगर कोई 4 माला कर रहा है, ठीक है, इस कार्तिक महीने में 8 करे एटलीस्ट, फिर बाद में 1 महीने के बाद आप डिसाइड कर सकते हैं कितना करना है, बट एटलीस्ट 1 महीना हमें ज़्यादा जप करना चाहिए, या एवरीडे हम आधा घंटा बुक रीडिंग करेंगे। तो जो भी भक्ति में इम्प्रूवमेंट करना चाहते हैं इस महीने में वो सोचना चाहिए, और जो चीज़ बहुत प्यारी लगती है उसको छोड़ सकते हैं, जो कृष्णा कॉन्शियस नहीं है, कुछ खाने का आइटम कुछ वो नहीं, तो वो भी इसका महत्व है। इस प्रकार से कार्तिक महीने का हमको महत्व वो करना है। तो हर भक्त को चाहिए कि अपने जीवन में कुछ ऐसा भाव लेकर आगे बढ़ा जाए, ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है करके। तो ऐसे समय को, ऐसे महीने को हमको छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए। इसी प्रकार से एकादशी को भी हमें ऐसे ही लेना चाहिए, एकादशी को हमको छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए, ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है। इसलिए हर संडे को, हर प्रोग्राम्स में हम दामोदर अष्टकम भी गाते हैं, दिया भी अर्पण करते हैं भगवान। अब देखिए सत्यव्रत मुनि मांग क्या रहे हैं भगवान, कोई बताना चाहेगा? आपने देखिए 2 क्लास सुनी, लास्ट क्लास भी सुनी, तो भगवान से वो एक्चुअली मांग क्या रहे हैं, कौन बताना चाहेगा? सत्यव्रत मुनि भगवान से क्या प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं? हाँ, हमेशा कॉन्स्टेंट रिमेम्बरेंस ऑफ द लॉर्ड। ओके, बहुत अच्छा। और क्या वो मांग रहे हैं, और क्या नहीं मांग रहे हैं? अच्छा, हम क्या मांगते हैं जनरली भगवान से? जब हम मांगते हैं, हम क्या मांगते हैं भगवान से? हाँ, कोई नहीं मांगता फिर भगवान से? हाँ, मेटलिस्टिक, हाँ, कष्टों से निवारण कर ले। मतलब एक भक्त थोड़ा मैच्योरिटी आने पे समझ गए कि ठीक है अभी भगवान से ज्यादा मेटल डिजायर नहीं मांगना चाहिए, तो शायद पूरा नहीं करें। शुरू में तो एकदम पूरी होती है और एकदम हमारी इच्छा भी होती है, लेकिन जब हम एकदम भक्त बन जाते हैं तो समझ में आते कि भक्ति मतलब भगवान से रिश्ता, कृष्ण हमारे हृदय में है। अब कई बार तो जो भक्त भी नहीं होते वो भी भगवान को अपने पास महसूस करके, वो भी महसूस करते हैं कि हाँ भगवान ईश्वर हमारे जीवन में। तो जब हम भक्त बन जाते हैं, हमें हमारे हर जीवन में, हर एंगल में भगवान का हाथ देखना चाहिए, उससे भक्ति बढ़ती है। और ये समझना चाहिए कि भगवान, हमारा कृष्ण भगवान हमारे जीवन में कैसे वो हमको अपने पास लेके जाके इतनी कृपा कर रहे हैं हर अवस्था में। तो एक भक्त को भगवान का हाथ अपने जीवन में देखना चाहिए। अब जो मिश्रित भक्त होते हैं उनमें एक दिक्कत ये होती है कि जब उनकी इच्छाएं पूर्ण नहीं होती, उन्हें लगता है भगवान मेरे इसको प्यार ही नहीं करता। जैसे कोई जिद्दी बच्चा माँ को बोले ये दिला दो और माँ ना दिलाए तो रूठ जाता है, उसी प्रकार से हम जब मिश्रित भक्त होते हैं हम भगवान से रूठ जाते हैं। मैंने प्रार्थना करी, वो मेरी प्रार्थना पूरी नहीं हुई, या तो भगवान है ही नहीं, कोई बहुत नया कृतद्युति, कृतद्युति क्या बोलती है? कृतद्युति की कहानी सुनी है? उसका बच्चा मर जाता है, चित्रकेतु जो है। चित्रकेतु ने 1 करोड़ शादियां करी थी, फिर भी उनको बच्चा नहीं हुआ। फिर अंगिरा मुनि ने आके उनको क्या दिया? एक पुत्र प्राप्त किया, उसका नाम हर्षशोक। अब क्योंकि पुत्र हुआ एक रानी को, बाकी जो 99 लाख रानियां थी वो सब एनवियस हो गई, किसके? कृतद्युति के। तो उसने बच्चों को मार दिया जहर पिला। अब जब बच्चा मर गया, कृतद्युति तो बोलने लगी अरे तुम तो बहुत अनइंटेलिजेंट हो, तुम्हें कुछ अकल नहीं है, भगवान को बोलने लगी पिता के रहते रहते तुमने बेटे को मार दिया करके। तो जो मिश्रित भक्त होते हैं, जब उनके जीवन में परेशानी आती है, जो नौ सीखे भक्त होते हैं तो भगवान पे ही डाउट करने लगते। लेकिन जब आगे फिर, और भैया आगे जब हम भक्ति में बढ़ जाते हैं हम सोचते हैं कि अरे हमारे जीवन की इच्छा पूरी नहीं हो रही है, इसका मतलब क्या है? कि भगवान हमको प्रेम नहीं करते, भगवान लेते हैं। लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है। जब हम शुद्ध भक्त बनते हैं हमें समझ में आता है कि हमारे जीवन में जो भी हो रहा है भगवान हमको प्रेम कर रहे हैं, भगवान हमको कृपा दिखा रहे हैं। तब हम शुद्ध भक्ति पे आगे बढ़ते हैं और हमारी भगवान के नाम में रुचि आती है, भगवान की कथा में रुचि आती है, और तब व्यक्ति को लगता है इससे बढ़िया कुछ नहीं जीवन, इससे बढ़िया जीवन में कुछ नहीं है। और जो मेरे प्रारब्ध कर्मों से जो जीवन में आने वाला है वो आ जाएगा, जो दुख आना है वो आ जाएगा, जो सुख आना है वो आ जाएगा, और ये सारे प्रारब्ध कर्म सुख दुख में मिट। बस फिर वो क्या सोचता है कि मैं कैसे भगवान की सेवा करूं, कैसे मैं भगवान कृष्ण की सेवा करूं। वो व्यक्ति फिर बस वही उसका याद रहता है, वही सोचता है। तो ये जो सत्यव्रत मुनि बता रहे हैं यही बोल रहे हैं कि देखो भगवान, मुझे कुछ दुखों से दूर करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है, मुझे कोई वर नहीं चाहिए, मुझे मोक्ष भी नहीं चाहिए, मुझे वैकुंठ भी नहीं चाहिए, मैं तो सिर्फ आपकी प्रेम भक्ति चाहिए। और हम रोजाना क्या प्रे करते हैं, यही प्रे करते हैं ना, every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against all these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna प्रेम। तो जब हम समझें कि चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने, श्रील प्रभुपाद ने हमको क्या दिया है, भगवान की प्रेम भक्ति करना सिखाया है। देखिए बहुत सारे लोग भगवान के पास आते हैं, भक्ति करते हैं, लेकिन प्रेम भक्ति क्या है ये समझना जीवन की सबसे बड़ी परिपूर्णता है। और ये प्रेम भक्ति केवल एक भक्त की कृपा से ही समझ में आती है, वरना ही समझ में नहीं आती। कितने लोग बालाजी, तिरुपति बालाजी के पास जाते हैं, लेकिन आप उनसे पूछेंगे कि क्यों जा रहे हैं तो क्या बताएंगे, मन्नत है। इसलिए 8-8 घंटा खड़े होकर लाइन में लगते हैं, एक माला जब नहीं होगी लेकिन 8 घंटे लाइन में रख के दर्शन लेते हैं, क्योंकि दर्शन लिए तो मन्नत पूरी हो जाएगी। तो कितने लोग भक्ति करते हैं कि उनकी मन्नतें पूरी हो जाएं, जीवन में ये हो जाए वो हो जाए, लेकिन असली भक्ति का रस तब मिलता है जब कृष्ण के प्रति प्रेम जागृत, और वो प्रेम इतना आस्वादन है, उस प्रेम में इतना रस है, वो किसी चीज में नहीं। और यही सत्यव्रत मुनि उसी के लिए प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं। तो जब हम दामोदर अष्टकम कर रहे हैं तो हमको बस यही प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए, भगवान हम आपको, आप जो है हमें अपने प्रति प्रेम दे दे। श्रद्धा प्रेम भक्ति सत्यम न मोक्षे ग्रह में अस्ति दामोदर। और वो ये चीज देख रहे हैं कि कैसे माता यशोदा ने भगवान कृष्ण को प्रेम से बांध दिया है। कोई भगवान को बांध सकता है? आज तुम भगवान को बैठो बैठो यहाँ पर और जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो करो। अरे हम कौन होते हैं? योगी लोग इतना तपस्या करते हैं फिर भी भगवान उनके हृदय में नहीं पा पाते हैं। फिर भी भगवान को अपने हृदय में नहीं पा पाते ना, इतना तपस्या करने के बावजूद। तो हम कौन होते हैं? हम और यशोदा जो है वो तो घेनी है, कोई तपस्या भी नहीं करी और भगवान को बांध दिया। तो जो भगवान की भक्ति है वो योग से, तपस्या से सबसे श्रेष्ठ है। तो हमें जीवन में यही चाहिए, यही शुद्ध भक्ति प्राप्त करने के लिए कि भगवान को शुद्ध भक्ति से कैसे पूजा जाए। और वही प्रार्थना हमें दामोदर अष्टकम, और ऐसा बोलते हैं कि भगवान शुद्ध भक्ति नहीं देते, जो इस कार्तिक महीने में वृंदावन में भगवान के प्रति भक्ति करता है, राधा रानी उसको शुद्ध भक्ति दे देती। एनओडी में इस बात को बताया गया है कर कर। तो ये महीना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हम भगवान की भक्ति करें, सिर्फ यही प्रार्थना करें, भगवान मुझे पता नहीं शुद्ध भक्ति क्या है, बहुत लोग बोलते तो रहते हैं, लेकिन आपसे यही प्रार्थना है कि मुझे ये शुद्ध भक्ति प्रदान करें, मुझे सिर्फ यही चाहिए और कोई इच्छा नहीं। तो ये एक भक्त का भाव होना चाहिए दामोदर अष्टकम गाते हुए, और वो यही प्रार्थना करें कि जो बाल स्वरूप है ये मेरे चित्त में छा जाए, सत्यव्रत मणि करके। अब ऑफ कोर्स कुछ भगवान को बाल रूप में पूछते हैं तो कुछ कैशोर रूप में पूछते हैं। चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने हमेशा भगवान को कैशोर रूप में ही पूजा है। भजेंद्र नंदना गोपी भरते पद कमले दास दास अनुदास। तो ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, ये हमारा मूड होना कि कृष्ण भक्ति जो है। और जब भक्त इस मूड में भक्ति करता है तो आनंद का दरवाजा अपने आप खुल जाता है, क्योंकि भक्ति जो है बहुत आनंद प्रदान करती है। लेकिन शुरू में क्या होता है, हमारे हृदय का परिवर्तन होता है, हृदय का प्यूरिफिकेशन होता है, अपराध वगैरह वो होते हैं, तो फिर व्यक्ति को प्रेम भक्ति मिलती है। तो ऑलवेज वी शुड beg to Krishna, Krishna please give me, or Radharani please give me devotion to Krishna. And when you're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is this. And this is possible, very easily possible, if we chant Hare Krishna without offenses. So every devotee should know what are the 10 offenses there. I won't take time. During Guru Vayur Yatra, we had one class on avoiding 10 offenses. How many attended that Guru Vayur Yatra? Class on 10 offenses, right? Cool. Though we talk about inattentive chanting, but we took the 10 offenses and we started Śrīla beside 10 offenses. The congregation will come, but nobody able to come. So we should have maybe probably some other time to recite 10 offenses. And what are the 10 offenses there? So, but one of the most important thing, because क्या होता है जब हम जप करने लगते हैं, शुरू में तो बहुत एंथुसियाज्म से जप करते हैं, फिर धीरे धीरे टेस्ट चला जाता है और एक माला दो माला करना भी बहुत भारी लगता है। आप में से कितनों को एक्सपीरियंस है कि जैसे टाइम बीतता है माला करना लिटिल भारी होता जाता है। क्यों? हम भगवान का नाम जब कैसे करना है उसमें शिथिल पड़ जाते हैं करके। तो इसलिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि जब हम माला कर रहे हैं उसको ध्यान पूर्वक करेंगे तो उतनी हमारी भक्ति में प्रगति होती रहेगी, क्योंकि भगवान के नाम में सब कुछ है। हमारी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स का सॉल्यूशन, घर के झगड़े भी निपटाने का सॉल्यूशन किसमें है? भगवान के नाम में। तो झगड़े क्यों होते हैं? हमें गुस्सा आता है, इससे तो झगड़े होते हैं करके देर। तो अगर हम अपनी इंद्रियों पे कंट्रोल कर लें तो लाइफ की सारी प्रॉब्लम समझ जाए। लाइफ डिटरमाइंस प्रॉब्लम्स, वी डिटरमाइन द साइज ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स करेंगे। तो जब हम भगवान के श्रवण कीर्तन में नाम जप में लीन होते हैं तो सारी, देखिए अगर कोई नामाभास में भी नाम जप करता है उसको मोक्ष तो वही मिल जाता है। कोई अगर नामाभास होकर नामाभास में नाम जप करता है उसको मोक्ष अपने आप मिल जाता है। तो मोक्ष कोई बड़ी चीज नहीं है भक्तों के लिए। भक्तों के लिए क्या बड़ी चीज है? प्रेम भक्ति, जिसके लिए शुद्ध नाम हमको लेना पड़ता है। और इसलिए आप देखेंगे जब आप पहली बार जप करना चालू करते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कितनी सारी दिमाग परेशानियां सब चली गई, जीवन में सब कुछ अच्छा है, लगता नहीं लगता? क्यों? क्योंकि वो नामाभास, वो अश्रद्धा नामाभास था, उसको जब करके हमको लगता है कि अभी सब कुछ अच्छा है। लेकिन जैसे हम प्रगति करते हैं हम फिर नाम अपराध में चले, जब के समय अपने जीवन में क्या करना है उसको सोचने लगते हैं और भगवान के नाम में बिल्कुल भी ध्यान नहीं रहता है। और फिर हमको लगता है अरे फिर तो यही वही परेशानी आ रही जो परेशानियां पहले आ रही थी। इसलिए नाम जब अटेंटिव होके करना बहुत जरूरी है। तो इसके लिए कुछ मेथड्स, देखिए भक्ति के लिए कुछ मेथड्स की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन क्योंकि अभी तक हमारे वो शुद्ध भक्ति का आधार हमारे हृदय में नहीं आया। तो एक चीज हमेशा याद रखिए, अगर आप भक्तों की सेवा करेंगे, भक्तों को प्रसन्न करेंगे, उनके आदेशों का, गुरु के आदेशों का पालन करेंगे, तो नाम जपने अपने आप रुचि आएगी। और भक्तों के प्रति अपराध करेंगे, नाम जप करना मुश्किल। ये बहुत डायरेक्ट कोरिलेशन इसमें है, भक्त सेवा और नाम रुचि। तो हमें हमेशा यही कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि भक्तों की ज्यादा से ज्यादा सेवा कैसी हो, नाम में अपने आप रुचि आएगी। तो नाम वैष्णव सेवा नाम रुचि जीव दया। और जब नाम रुचि आएगी तो जीवों पे दया भी आएगी। अरे ये लोग, इन पे भी भगवान कृपा हो, इन पे भी भगवान की कृपा आए। तो फिर ये नाम रुचि जीव दया ये अपने आप हमारे हृदय में लोगों के प्रति आएगी करके देर। तो इसे नाम रुचि के लिए हमको चाहिए वैष्णव सेवा, कि कभी किसी वैष्णव का अनादर ना करें, डिसरिस्पेक्टफुली ना बोले, और सब वैष्णव को आदर करके उनकी हम सेवा करें। जितनी भक्तों की सेवा करेंगे उतना हमको नाम में रुचि रहेगी। और फिर दूसरा क्या, हमारा एंडेवर। देखिए भगवान तो भक्ति देते हैं लेकिन हमें भी तो एंडेवर करना है। और दामोदर लीला यही दिखा रहे कि जब यशोदा माई कृष्ण को बांध रही थी तो क्या हो रहा था, हमेशा 2 उंगल छोटी पड़ रही थी। रस्सी क्या हो रहा था, 2 उंगल छोटी पड़ रही थी। क्योंकि 2 उंगल छोटी पड़ रही थी रस्सी, वो कितनी भी रस्सी लेकर आए, एक रस्सी लेकर आए तो भी 2 उंगल छुट्टी, घर की सारी रस्सियां ले आए फिर भी 2 उंगल छुट्टी, फिर जो बाहर की सारी रस्सियां थी पूरे व्रज की तब भी 2 उंगल छुट्टी। तो ये 2 उंगली क्या दिखाता है? हमारा एंडेवर और भगवान कृष्ण। तो हमें तो अपना एंडेवर करना चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए? भगवान की कृपा तभी तो आएगी। तो इसलिए हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा समय भगवान की भक्ति को, जो भी खाली समय है हमको भगवान की भक्ति में उसको लगाना चाहिए। और भगवान का जो हम जप कर रहे हैं अच्छे से कर रहे हैं, तो अभी क्या करेंगे जनरली तो, और देखिए जब आप सेंटर पे आके जप करते हैं तो बहुत क्वालिटी अपने आप हो जाती है, वाइब्रेशन। लेकिन हमको ये भी सीखना है कि घर पे कैसे जप करें कि घर पे भी अच्छा जप हो, क्योंकि आप सब दिन तो सेंटर नहीं आ सकते, तो घर पे ही जप करना है। तो इसको मत मानिए कि घर पे जप अच्छा हो ही नहीं सकता। अगर हम ऐसा सोच लेते हैं तो फिर प्रगति का कोई हिसाब नहीं। तो भगवान के नाम का अच्छे से जप करना ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। उसके लिए कई सारी चीजें हैं, लेकिन एक बेसिक चीज ये है कैसे आप बैठते हैं। कमर सीधी करके बैठते हैं, कमर आड़े करके बैठते हैं, उससे भी बहुत फर्क पड़ता है। मतलब कैजुअल होके बैठते हैं या फॉर्मल होके बैठते हैं, राइट? तो उसके लिए कई सारे होते हैं। फिर जब हम जप कर रहे हैं, एक और ताटक, ताटक ध्यान बोलते हैं, ताटक मेडिटेशन। क्या? हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र देख के जप। हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र, एक हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र का नेम प्लेट्स भी आता है या स्टिकर भी है, ये सब उसको सामने रख के आप जप करें। अभी आप देखेंगे माताओं की तरफ भी रहती है, प्रभु जी की तरफ भी रहती है ना हरे कृष्णा महामंत्र, तो उससे ध्यान करने में फोकस होता है। क्या होता है? ध्यान करने में फोकस हो रहा है कि हमारे कृष्ण महामंत्र जप कर रहे हैं। और देखिए आपको एक्सपीरियंस होगा, अगर क्लास में एक चीज दोबारा बोलते हैं तो माइंड शट हो जाता है। ये तो लीला हमने सुनी हुई है। इसलिए भक्तों को 5-10 साल होने के बाद में मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम आने की रुचि नहीं रहती करके। इसलिए मैं बोल रहा था कि वैसे को देखिए 20 साल के बाद भी रोजाना मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम आ रहे हैं, ये डिफिकल्ट है करके, क्योंकि सब कुछ पता है अभी जब बोला जाएगा। ऑलमोस्ट 80% चीज आपको पता है, इसके बाद ये बोलने वाले हैं, इसके बाद ये बोलने वाले हैं, इसके बाद ये बोलने वाले करके। तब भी आकर सुनना दूसरे भक्तों को, ये सबसे परिपक्वता है। तो जब हमें कोई दूसरी एक लीला दोबारा सुनाई जाती है तो उसमें हमारा बोर्ड हो जाते हैं, और वो हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र रोजाना वही सुनना है। तो क्या होता है, हम महामंत्र नहीं सुन के मन ऑफ हो जाता है। और यही सबसे बड़ी परेशानी, क्यों? हम भगवान के नाम को और अपने को भिन्न समझ रहे हैं। तो क्योंकि ये भिन्नता हमारे दिमाग में है, तो क्या हो जाता है, हमारा मन ऑफ हो जाता है। यहाँ दिक्कत है करके। तो इसलिए बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है सुनना। बुद्धिजन टू बोलते हैं हियर द, ट्राई टू हियर द होली करके। तो इसलिए कभी कभी जपा रिट्रीट्स का भी जरूरत होता है कि जहाँ केवल हम अपने जपा पे ध्यान करें, जब को ऐसे अच्छे से करना है। फिर हमको लगता है अरे जप में इतना टेस्ट है, मैंने तो कभी सोचा भी नहीं था। जब कितना करना, भगवान का नाम इतना मीठा है, हमें कभी पता नहीं था। और फिर अपने आप मन और इंद्रियां अपने आप शांत हो जाते हैं। अगर आप अच्छे से जब करने लगते हैं तो गुस्सा, लड़ाई, ये सब द्वेष अपने आप शांत हो जाते हैं, और सहिष्णुता, नम्रता, ये सब क्वालिटीज अपने आप आने लगती हैं। लेकिन ये तब आती हैं जब व्यक्ति अच्छे से जप करता है करके, तब ये सब चीजें व्यक्ति के हृदय में अपने आप आने लगती हैं। तो इसलिए बहुत जरूरी है कि जब भी हम जप करें एक संकल्प बनाना चाहिए। जब भी जप करें ऐसा नहीं कभी मारा हो गए, एक संकल्प बनाना है कि मैं भगवान गुरु से प्रार्थना करनी है, श्री प्रभुपाद से प्रार्थना करनी है कि मैं भगवान की प्रसन्नता के लिए करता हूँ। ये गुरु का आदेश है, उनकी प्रसन्नता के लिए मैं सेवा कर रहा हूँ। और फिर एक संकल्प बनाना चाहिए कि आई विल बी प्रेजेंट इन माई रिलेशनशिप विद कृष्णा, बिकॉज भगवान और भगवान का नाम अभिन्न है। जब भगवान का नाम ले रहे हैं, आप भगवान कृष्ण के साथ में, आप जब भगवान का नाम ले रहे हैं आप भगवान कृष्ण के साथ में, भगवान का नाम अभिन्न है। तो इसलिए एक संकल्प होना चाहिए, देखो अभी मैं भगवान का जप कर रहा हूँ, अब मैं और कुछ नहीं करूंगा, मोबाइल फोन को साइड में रखना, राइट। एक्सक्लूसिव एक्टिविटी चैंटिंग इज एन, कभी भी क्लास में जप नहीं करना बैठ के, कि आ गए क्लास में, अब थोड़ा ठीक है, क्लास भी सुनते रहते हैं, माला भी होता रहेगा। इन दोनों में से एक काम करो, जप कर रहे हो जप कर रहे हो, कथा सुन रहे हो कथा सुन रहे हो, दोनों मिक्स मत करो। लीला ध्यान होता है और एक कथा नाम ध्यान होता है। तो जब नाम जप कर रहे हैं तो एक्सक्लूसिव होना चाहिए। तो ड्राइविंग करते हुए जप नहीं करना चाहिए, काम करते करते जप नहीं करना चाहिए, तो मोबाइल फोन को अलग रख के जप करना चाहिए, क्योंकि मोबाइल फोन और माला दोनों साथ में नहीं चलते करके। आप मोबाइल फोन बैठ जाओ जब करते रहो, बीच में कॉल आ ही जाएगी, व्हाट्सएप मैसेज करेंगे, आ ही जाएगी। जैसे मोबाइल को साइलेंट मोड पे डालकर फिर जप करने का। और देखिए अगर भक्त लोग, क्योंकि ये हमारी रोजाना की प्रतिक्रिया है, रोजाना का हमारा ये सेवा है जब तक, इसको अगर हम अच्छे ढंग से करेंगे तो भक्ति में वाकई सब कुछ अच्छे से चलने लगेगा। लेकिन यही गलती करेंगे, बाकी सब कुछ गड़बड़ होने लगे करके। और इसी से जो प्रॉमिस करते हैं प्रभुपाद जी, चैंट एंड बी हैप्पी देयर, तो ये सब उसी से ही आता है, भगवान के नाम आश्रय लेने का। भगवान के नाम का जब हम आश्रय लेते हैं, वी टेक शेल्टर ऑफ लॉर्ड्स होली नेम, वी अंडरस्टैंड, तो दैट इज समथिंग वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। तो अभी हम क्या करेंगे, आज दामोदराष्टकम भी है, प्रभुपाद गुरु पूजा भी है, तो मैं ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा। तो अभी आई विल डिस्प्ले द महामंत्र, so we all will chant one round praying to the Lord, and very important, we should chant the Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya mantra very with devotion. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta. I hope everybody has a mala. किसी के पास माला नहीं है उनको माला दे सकते हैं करके। तो हम नए लोगों को तो जब कराते हैं, लेकिन भक्तों का चैंटिंग इंप्रूव हो वो भी बहुत जरूरी है। तो अभी, तो जब भी हम भगवान जब करते हैं तो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य, तो सबसे पहले हम प्रभुपाद प्रणति मंत्र करते हैं। अगर इनके जिनका गुरु आश्रय हो गया वो पहले अपने गुरु जी का प्रणाम मंत्र करते हैं, फिर श्रीला प्रभुपाद का प्रणाम मंत्र करते हैं, नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिनेति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचार्य निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदेश तारिणे। तो ये प्रणति क्या होता है, प्रभुपाद जी का आशीर्वाद, क्योंकि प्रभुपाद जी के आशीर्वाद से हमको ये भक्ति मिली है, तो सबसे पहले करते हैं। फिर हर माला के पहले हम जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि और भक्ति, जिससे हम पंच तत्व की कृपा लेकर फिर जप करें। ऐसा बोलते हैं अगर हम पंच तत्व मंत्र नहीं करते तो हमारा जप ऑलरेडी नाम अपराध करके। तो पंच ये पंच तत्व मंत्र करने से नाम के प्रति अपराध सब चले जाते हैं। ठीक है, तो अभी हम चालू करेंगे, एक माला हम करेंगे। तो आपके पास 8 मिनट हैं, और हाँ, माला करते समय हमें ये नहीं सोचना चाहिए इसको कंप्लीट करना है, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी लाइफ इतना हेक्टिक है। तो हमारा शेड्यूल क्या होता है, जब को कैसे कंप्लीट कर दे। ये चेतना बहुत बुरी है। जब क्यों, जब हम जब कंप्लीट करने की सोचते हो आप ध्यान नहीं लगा पाते, आप सोचते हो कब कंप्लीट होगा, कब गाड़ी हो जाएगी। देखो, आपको किसी से निपटना होता है तो कब इसकी बात खत्म हो जाए। तो हम कृष्ण को भी ऐसे कर देते, कब इसका माला खत्म होगा हम। लेकिन किसी से प्रेम होता है तो टाइम नहीं सोचते, और कैसे बात करे और कैसे अच्छे से वो हो, ऐसा होता नहीं होता है। तो अगर हम भगवान से प्रेम करते हैं तो क्या माला हमको घसीट के बस कंप्लीट करने का सोचना चाहिए, अच्छे से करना चाहिए। और अच्छे से करोगे तो कंप्लीट हो ही जाएगा, क्योंकि देखो अगर अटेंटिव करोगे, सोओगे नहीं, तो जब अपने आप से अच्छे से हो जाएगा, नहीं हो जाएगा। तो हमको ये सोचना चाहिए कि देखिए हम भगवान से संबंध बनाने आए हैं, इसलिए हम जप कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि कृष्ण और कृष्ण के नाम में कोई फर्क नहीं। तो हमको अच्छे से ये नाम जप करना है, भगवान को सोचते हुए, भगवान का आदर प्रीति करते हुए। तो ये नाम जब सोचकर हमको व्यक्ति को करना चाहिए। तो माला केवल घसीटना की कंप्लीट करना है, वो टारगेट नहीं। माला रोजाना कंप्लीट करना चाहिए, वॉट एवर वाव वी हैव टेकन वी शुड डू, बट कंप्लीट करना गोल नहीं है। कंप्लीट करना गोल नहीं है। क्या करना है? अच्छे से उसको करना गोल है। भगवान के नाम को सुनना वो गोल है। और दैट साउंड वाइब्रेशन शुड टच अवर माइंड, शुड टच अवर हार्ट। तब वो हृदय में जब जाता है, हृदय के सारे कल्मश को बाहर निकाल देता है करके, रजोगुण तमोगुण के प्रभाव को वो सब बाहर निकाल देता है। तो इसलिए भगवान का नाम का हम शेल्टर लेना, नाम आश्रय, ये बहुत जरूरी चीज है। इसलिए एकादशी को कोशिश करना चाहिए कि 64 माला करें, ज्यादा से ज्यादा माला, मतलब ज्यादा से ज्यादा माला करें। डिवोटीज का जॉब रहेगा तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, जिन माता जी का जॉब नहीं है वो कर सकते हैं एकादशी को करके। कभी एकादशी सैटरडे को आ रही है तो हम कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ज्यादा से ज्यादा हमें एकादशी को जप करना चाहिए। तो जितना नाम के प्रति रुचि आएगी उतना जीवन आगे हमारा बढ़ता जाएगा। तो अभी मैंने महामंत्र लगा दिया है, हम एक माला जप करेंगे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य, वी स्टार्ट विद नमो विष्णुपादाय। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। Devotees can chant individually. See, don't loudly chant. You chant what you can hear, sing the mantra. So we are not chanting chorus. We are doing individual chanting.